Hello YouTube, this is a video on my LAN party machine. This is the case itself that has been shown in a previous video. It used to have an ASRock board in there with Athlon 64 CPU and I don't know, like 2 gigs of RAM or something. But I changed the parts out and it now is housing my LAN party machine. I have my regular gaming rig over there. You might wonder, why the hell would you build a machine just for LAN parties? Well, there's one very simple reason. That case is made from plastic. It's not all that sturdy, but it is very nice. And I like to keep it that way. I want to keep that case nice. Well, that came out really difficult. I don't know why. But the case is really nice and I want to keep it that way. And this case is so darn sturdy. This is just perfect for lugging around. And that case is not. It will fall apart eventually. Well, this case was a freebie anyway with the contents, so I figured, yeah, I'll just order a motherboard or like an upgrade kit with just, board, CPU, and RAM. And then I'll just find myself some optical drives, a case, and power supply, and a video card. Well, that wasn't too hard, really. I had those parts laying around, just needed the upgrade kit. So I just needed a motherboard, CPU, and RAM. So enough rambling about that. Let's just take a look at the case itself. It has been shown before, I know. It still has these two optical drives, Samsung Rider and I believe, and an Asus Quiet Track. Sounds really interesting. A DVD ROM drive. This is the only thing that's actually hooked up, I believe. Down here is the multimedia card reader, compact flash, MMC, SD, SM. I'm not gonna say what that is, or what I think that is, and memory stick cards. Of course, huge power button indicating lights, and down there is the front panel with 2 USB ports and front panel audio. So that's not all that interesting to watch. Neither is the back side, but it's become such a routine to actually just take a look at the thing. So there's the power supply with a nice honeycomb design or whatever. Actually matches the case quite a bit. Of course, we got DP2 ports here, serial, coaxial, parallel, 6 USB 2.0 ports, with Ethernet, and stereo audio out. And back here, all the way down here, I must say, are the DVI ports. This video is meant for the video card. So that's the outside. Let's get to the interesting bits, the inside. I'll just tilt it this way so you can see a bit better. So we got a motherboard in here. It was made by Gigabytes. It's the GA P43 ES3L, if I'm not mistaken. 4 gigabytes of Scythe DDR2, 800 megahertz. Got a nice deep cool CPU cooler on there. When I got the board, it actually had an Arctic Freezer 7 on there, and one of the push pins broke when I tried to mount it. I didn't use excessive force, it just fell apart. So I had to order a new push pin cooler. That's the reason why I despise socket 775 cooler design. So it has a Core 2 Duo on there, E6750, overclocked to 3.2 GHz, stock is 2.66. That's all fine and dandy. And as you can see, we only have the Asus optical drive hooked up here. Down there is a Western Digital Caviar Green 1TB drive, and that beast of a video card, well, it used to be a beast back in the day, is an XFX Radeon HD 4890 with 1 gig of frame buffer. It requires a hefty 2 PCI Express 6-pin power connectors. It was my only spare video card with PCI Express that could actually perform somewhat decent. So, by the way, the power supply up there is an MS Tech 620 VAL, so it's a value point pretty much. Power supply 620 watts, about 75% efficiency, active PFC, has two 12-volt rails of 19 amps each. So it's not really that bad of a power supply. It's built pretty well. I have another MS Tech power supply down there. That's a 750 watt, but that one is a bit less efficient actually. That uses MS Tech's own componentry. This one is made by a third party. Not exactly Seasonic type of quality, but it's not bad. Let's put it that way. So I put this thing together a couple months ago. So I've only really installed Windows, installed a few games that I usually play on a LAN party. That pretty much sums up what I have done to this machine. So I'm actually pretty curious whether this thing still works or not. So let's hook it up and see what she does. Okie dokie. This is the moment of truth. We have power. Ooh, that is nice and quiet. Oh, that is absolutely gorgeous. I just want to verify if the CPU or if the GPU fan was actually running, but it actually is. And she is booting into Windows 7. I believe it's Windows 7 Professional. 64-bit, of course, because we're running 4 gigs RAM. This is as cold of a boot as you could get. By the way, this video is recorded with a different device than I usually record with. This is recorded with an LG Optimus 4X HD smartphone. I usually record on my Sony Xperia Sola, so I'm actually kind of curious what kind of quality this thing can produce. Okay. And that's our Windows 7 desktop. Okay, there we go. Intel Core 2 Duo CPU, E6750, 2.66 GHz at 3.2. Oh, I forgot to activate Windows. Whoops. But these are the scores we get. 6.6 on the CPU, 6.8 on RAM, 7.4 on the video card, 5.9 on the disk. That's not bad. Considering I only paid, well, 90 euros for this, for the whole system. That's a pretty good deal. I could sell this thing for 200 if I wanted to. There are enough crazy people that would actually give that much for this. There is just a couple of games on here. I believe I haven't even installed Call of Duty 4 yet. It is very nice and quiet though. It's just lovely. But yeah, the things I usually play in a LAN party include things like Quick 3 Arena, Unreal Tournament. Mostly Half-Life 2 and Call of Duty 4 though. And I'm of course talking Half-Life 2 Deathmatch. Pawning each other with a bunch of gravity guns is just the best thing ever. But you know what? I'm actually going to dig up some games that are a bit more demanding so you can see what type of performance a system like this would get. So I'll be right back. She's still running like a beauty. I've got some programs loaded up here. First of all, CPU-Z and GPU-Z. Let me wait for this. There we go. Got some nice crisp image now. As you can see, it is a ATI Radeon HD 4800 series. It's made by XFX. It's a 4890. It has a whopping 124.8 gigabytes per second memory bandwidth. GDDR5. This used to be a very, very high-end card back in 2009. It is running a bit hot though. Take a look at this. It's idling around 60 degrees, which is actually normal for this particular card. And on the right side we can see the CPU, which is an Intel Core 2 Duo E6750, running at 1.3 volts approximately, 3.2 gigahertz. It's very easy to overclock these. I was amazed. Just put the FSB to 1600 and there you go, 3.2 gigahertz. Okay, I made a little mistake. It's actually a P43 ES3G, not ES3L. So that's that. 4 gigabytes of DDR2. And symmetric dual channel mode, whatever that means. 800 megahertz. There's that video card again. It's sold by Scythe, but the memory is actually made by AData. Okay, that's cool. It's CL5, so it's actually pretty quick. that's enough of that. So let's just run a quick benchmark here. For instance, I've got Geekbench, I was about to say. I think Geekbench 3 tryout mode. Let's just run that. And after this, I'll just show you a game or two. I was going to record the building process back in the day, but I never really got to do that, so I had some recording issues with the camera. So. As you can see there in the top right corner, it is actually being worked quite hard. I'll zoom in for you. The CPU cooler is pretty good. I mean, the CPU never really got over 50 when I actually really stressed it out quite a bit. And the darn thing was only like, I don't know, 15 euros or something. So that's pretty much a steal. I really don't remember the exact model name of this deep cool cooler. I'll list it in the description. When I performed a Geekbench on my main desktop, it had already finished by now. It only took about a minute on that, so. But then again, that's a quad-core i5 running at 4.3 gigahertz, so that should be a bit faster. Almost there. Okay, it's done. Let's see what we get. A single core score 1701 and a multi-core score 3117. I've seen worse. Okie dokie. I'll load up a heavy game I've installed so we can see what kind of frame rates we're getting with this old of a system. And then it's pretty much over this video, I think. So this is a while later. I've actually fired up Guild Wars 2. As you can see, we got a pretty decent frame rate here. So this is Guild Wars 2 running on a Core 2 Duo. Keep that in mind. It's actually not bad. 36. Let's see what the settings are here. Low to medium settings, 1920, 1080. That's pretty good. Let's see what happens if we turn up the details. Then the frame rate drops about 30%. But we're still getting about 20 FPS. It's a bit choppy here and there. So this is pretty much maxed out 1920 by 1080 as far as it'll go. We can still maintain somewhere along 20 FPS. There we go. That's not bad, people. 20 FPS. 25. We look at the sky, we get a whopping 50 FPS on maxed out settings. Top down view.
actually, this is playable, people. At least reasonably. So that should give an idea on how much performance this system actually has. So I can actually play Guild Wars 2 on here just fine if you just lower the settings down so the video card and the processor can keep up. But it's really not bad at all. It's actually pretty quick. So hopefully this is enough info on my LAN party PC. I hope you've enjoyed this video, which has been rather long. I apologize. But still, thanks for watching, and leave a comment if you have one, and I'll see you guys later.